Welcome back. We apologize for that slight confusion. Now, in today's episode of Lessons from an Entrepreneur, we bring you the story of an agro-processing business that is now being operated by the second generation of the family of Muthoni Kamau. Muthoni now leads the team at Muharata Agri Machinery, a company that fabricates post-harvest agricultural machinery. She shares the story of the 40-year-old company located in Kariobangi along Outer Ring Road in Nairobi County with our news editor, Melissa Oduor.
The story of Muharata is the story of fabricated machinery used by farmers at post-harvest level. Now, Muthoni Kamau takes us through the journey of the formation of this family business that is now celebrating 40 years in existence. You know your Kisiagi, right? This is where you'll find it. Here is Lessons from an Entrepreneur. My name is Melissa Oduor.
My name is Muthoni Kamau. I run Muharata Food Company Limited. It's a family business. That's the name Muharata. It's a clan name. And the business started in the early 80s, but was incorporated, registered in 83. So we have a birthday from 83. And we are turning 40 this year. We are excited. And we fabricate equipment for farmers, for businessmen, for agro-processing from after the farm. So we don't do on-farm machinery, but we do a lot of off-farm machinery. Right from threshing, to processing of oils, seeds, grains, and many others. This business was started by my parents, mainly my father, in the early 80s. He was working for the then Kenya Bus Services and gave a lady a lift. She was going somewhere to Siaga, and many kilometers to go in Siaga. So the fact that there was no posho mill nearby brought about the issue of how come there are no posho mills. And during the Moi era, there was, you could not move maize from one district to another without a permit. So there was a need to have posho mills in those specific districts. So that's how the business grew. From the idea of that woman, he gave a lift. I don't know how I wish I could meet her one day, because that's why we are here. So we started from one posho mill, which was mainly just milling. We were a milling business, and that's the name Muharata Food. We were a milling business, but the machinery side grew and, took over. Yeah, but we still do milling.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the range of products that you have currently that you're able to provide?
Oh, we have a huge range, because our main products are both for animal feed production and for food production, that is milling of flours from any grains, any dry grains. But we do other equipment. Customers come in with YouTube videos of what they would want. And so we have become the Chinese in Kenya. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we fabricate from what people are thinking in their minds. And for most of what our customers bring to us, we've managed to do the machines. They are working. Yeah.
So the point where somebody comes with an idea, I have this machine that I want done. So take us through that whole process where they have come with the thought. So what happens? What does Muharata then do?
So when a customer comes with this idea of a machine they want to process something, we have a small team where we sit. We have a team of engineers, and these engineers are all NYS trained. And we have a team of other engineers who are not NYS trained, and now the management because of costing. So we sit down and design this machine, mainly go to the internet and see how other people are doing them. We try not to reinvent the wheel, see what somebody else has done out there and how we can now customize it for this environment and for, spares or things that they will get locally. So we have a team that sits down, does the drawing to the end, then costs it for the customer to now make the order.
So right now, the farmers, the people in the agri business, are being discouraged from shipping machines from countries like China. Talk about that. Do we have locally made solutions to our locally formed problems?
We have a lot of locally fabricated equipment. Right from Juakali to companies like us, there are many that exist. And so one, importing machines, you're killing your own. And even the Chinese, before they started exporting to us, they first fed their own farmers. And that's why they are food secure. So even for us, if we only could support our own, because our own one is taking care of employment, our own livelihoods. And the bigger factor is that once you buy a machine that is locally fabricated, then you're 100% sure of service after installation and spares. Because majority of equipment that comes from China, the problem is spares. And the downtime as you wait for that spare. Yeah, if the spare is not available locally. So I would encourage people to purchase machines that are locally fabricated.
Talk to me about what Muharata does at the point where you have already made a machine. You're giving it to a farmer who probably has never worked a machine before. So what kind of support do you give them to ensure that first they're utilizing this machine for the very purpose that they bought it for, and maybe other components of it that is able to help them over and above maybe what they thought this machine could do?
So what happens when a farmer approaches us and tells us, I want a machine for this particular purpose, we may have a machine for that purpose and for many other purposes. So first we will introduce you to this machine that you want. You may want, for example, a thresher, but we may have a thresher which is coupled to a sheller, coupled to a miller, all those things. So we will, of course, this one costs slightly more than this. We will first introduce you to the two. Whichever is your choice. Once we have this machine delivered to your site or to your farm, we will have somebody coming with you. We will train you, and especially the user, on the maintenance, general maintenance. And if that individual is, mechanically empowered, we'll give them knowledge on even the major service in case it is required. So that machine gives you as little breakdown, because a machine is like a car. It will need service after every 5,000-10,000 kilometers. So we will give you the know-how of how to generally maintain that machine. And after all, our machines have a 1-year warranty. In case of a mechanical fault that is to the company, then we do a replacement.
What is Muharata doing to integrate technology?
In the recent past, there has been an upsurge of it. And even from government institutions and non-governmental institutions, who are some of our customers, but their end user, the beneficiaries of these machines, are these farmer groups. So their choice of using Muharata is because we work with this group. Ours is not just the sales. We work with these groups even after the purchase of the equipment. So when we talk about agribusiness and technology, many people will think about computers and mobile phones and things like that. But technology is even mechanization. It's what makes things easier. So I'll give, for example, we make dryers for vegetables, for tubers, for name it, even for charcoal briquettes. Now, if you take this machine to a certain group and they have been using a solar dryer, for example, if there is now electricity in that area, we are going to move to the next bit of technology and now put electricity in that dryer, and they can use electrical power, meaning they can work even when there is no sun. And we will put a dial on it, because that is where the technology of that particular group has probably reached them, that they can use a dial to increase and decrease the temperature. Once we reach to the technological part of it, that they can now use a digital platform, we will get there. We are not yet there. But we try to better ourselves and to keep up with trends, but not forgetting who our customer is, so that we can remain relevant. Exactly.
Yeah. We are now on the groundwork where the actual work gets to be done. Muthoni, I'm meeting one of your engineers over here. Will tell us what he exactly does.
All right. So meet Mr. Lando. Daniel Lando is one of our engineers here, and he's been here for quite a while.
Wow.
He's a long-serving member of staff, and I will hand over to him to take us through his workshop.
Sasa hapa what happens exactly? Tunaanza wapi? Mtu akishakuja na kazi yake mkaambiwa ndio hiyo kandarasi Twende sasa.
Okay, unanunua materials. Ukishanunua materials, tunakuja tunachora. Ukishachora, tunapeleka zinakatwa. After kukatwa, tena tunakuja tunachora vile tunafaa kuweka hiyo mashini ifanyike. And then from there are some rollings zinafanyika. Kama ukiona kama hivi, ukiona nimechukua hiyo round imefanywa kuroliwa, na pia ukiangalia hapa imefanya kuroliwa. So after we have done our rolling, tunakuja tunaanza kuassemble, like tunaanza kuweld mashini ikichukua shape yake. And then after there are some other equipment zenye tunanunua, like kama hii ni mdokoihala, tunanunua grinding stones iko nje, tunanunua shafts zinapelekwa kwa mashini kama hii inaitwa lathe machine pale. Ikishachongwa vizuri, tuna assemble mashini pamoja, and then we are ready to go. We have our mdokoihala. Sasa hii tunaita pneumatic machine. Hii inatumia pressure, na ndio tutumie pressure ni kwamba tunatengeneza blower ambayo iko na nguvu, na hiyo blower yetu ikiwa na nguvu iko na pressure ya kutosha kuvuruta mahindi pasipo kuvunjwa pahali nyingine ama kuwa in contact na vitu ambazo hazitakikani. Sasa tuseme mahindi tukiweka pale chini itavurutwa na blower. Hiyo blower ni sahihi tunaitengeneza. Ikivurutwa pale, blower itachukua hiyo mahindi yetu inaweka pale kwa roller mill pale. Hiyo roller mill tunakuwa tumenunua kutoka nje kutengeneza hapa, but sasa hiyo ndio inafanya kazi ya kumill. Kishafika pale kimiliwa kwa roller mill, unavurutwa tena na hiyo hewa, na hiyo hewa kazi yake ni ifanye unga ikitoka pale it's ready for packing. Kifanya packaging unga ikitoka kwa blower, fanye packaging direct, hiyo unga inaenda inaharibika. So kazi yetu ni ya kuweka hiyo pneumatic, pia inatusaidia ili unga yetu ikienda kwa soko kule, mtu akiipack isiwe unga ya kuharibika haraka.
These are the people I represent while I'm here. But her, my youngest sister, Saida, we work with her here. She's part of our really good technical brains. So this is my family. These are the people I represent.
Muharata is coming from a background of a family business and a rich legacy spanning into now 40 years. Talk to us about that and every other person who would want to run a family business. And ensure that the children and the children's children take it up.
Many family businesses in Kenya, I don't know about the rest of Africa, but many do not go beyond that first generation. And the issue is why? Is because many Africans choose not to talk about death and see death as taboo. I would wish to appeal to matriarchs and patriarchs who are the first generation of that business to talk to their heirs, their children, openly about how the business is run, so that you can create interest in that second generation to want to work in that place. Because the fact of the matter is that these businesses, once you incorporate the younger mind, the older mind, that exchange will grow from one generation to another, and thus moving from one customer base to another customer base. Now, for the patriarchs and matriarchs who start the businesses, giving that space of openness allows your children to want to be involved. Once they get involved, they start giving ideas. Please allow those ideas to happen, whether wrong or right, because that's the only way a child will learn, through a failure. I must say, my father allowed us to fail in many ways. But when you fail, when it happens to you, then that is when you you learn. In my language, you will say, you only learn when you have done it yourself, when it has happened to you. Then that means you correct it and it becomes, After that, I would say that keep books of accounts open. Don't hide too much. because we are not all here to last forever. If my father never used to keep things open to us, this place would not have gone on. We only closed on the day we buried him. We did not close a day before, we did not close the day after. We were open for business because business must go on. So my urge is for patriarchs and matriarchs to sit down with their children, talk about how the business is run, take ideas from them. Then that way there is continuation, because you are aware of what is going on and what needs to go on. After all, that is where your bread gets buttered. Yeah?
The story of Muharata is the story of the production of fabricated machinery used at the post-harvest level by farmers in the country. This is a story of a family business that has been bequeathed to children to carry it on, to offer solutions to farmers in Kenya. My name is Melissa Odor, and this is Lessons from an Entrepreneur.